We welcome those joining us after the Rutgers-Maryland men's game into Columbus, Ohio, where it's the Buckeyes who have the 20-9 lead over the 20th-ranked Maryland Terrapins. Kelsey Casper and Nikki Cardano Hillary with you. And Nikki, it has just been such a strong offensive start for Ohio State in this game. They're a perfect 4 for 4 from behind the arc to start.
They're doing such a good job at translating their defense into offense, and that's really helping them.
But the Maryland defense forcing a turnover here. Jelani Cambridge wanting a foul. 24th season for Brenda Freeze at Maryland. Their win against Penn State was their 20th win of the season and their 21st straight season with 20 wins. Off to Poffenbarger, the extra pass, but an offensive foul. Will be going Ohio State's way. The Buckeyes under the direction of head coach Kevin McGuff in his 13th season. He has had 25 or more wins in each of the last 4 seasons. He's at 22-3 right now, ranked 8th in the country. Here's Kennedy Cambridge on the drive. Offensive foul, it's heading the other way.
Wow. I mean, that was a physical move. I think just right at the end there, she did dip her shoulder. You just can't do that. If she would have gone straight up, I think it would have been a block and one.
So back-to-back charges.
Yeah, and she's leaning right into the defender. You have to have a little bit more control when you're going up for that layup.
Going into Mickley. 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter, 29. The Ohio State lead, looking for their 2nd win over Maryland this year. Here's the freshman Wilson for the outside, who gets it to go. That's the Terrapins' first 3 of the game.
And a great one, in and out, wide open. She had her feet set. Great, great execution by Maryland.
The Terps are on a 7-0 run, and they force another turnover. That's the 6th from the Buckeyes in the first quarter.
You know, we're getting into the end of conference, and there's a lot of fatigue in a lot of teams, but especially in this matchup here where there's so much energy and pressure. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, who keeps up their energy.
And Garzone knocks down her first triple, the best 3-point shooter in the Big Ten. On the other end, Martin off the rim. Bounces around, but Walker gets the rebound. Akanawa can't connect down low. But it bounces off the Buckeyes' foot, but look out! Martin coming in from behind with a huge block. Gray, transition 3!
She is on fire tonight.
What a shot from Chance Gray. She has 8 points in this first quarter. Excuse me, make it 11. She is a perfect 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
What I love about it, she's not forcing these shots. These shots are coming to her. She's taking them with confidence and executing.
They're going to say it was touched. Maryland started this first quarter going 1 of 9 from the field. Since then, they've been 4 for 4 until this missed one from Walker. Cambridge. That was a 3-shot from Todd as kick goes down.
Take a look at this hustle, play. You stay in it. Right into that transition 3. She had someone behind her, she didn't care. She was knocking that one down.
Foul's gonna go against Walker, it's her first. Gray. And it's a jump ball. It'll be Maryland possession. You just saw the hustle leading to that bucket. The Ohio State Buckeyes lead the Big Ten in steals and second in blocks. And they're showing it early here in Columbus. Poffenbarger can't connect on the three. Todd gets the rebound. Buckeyes pushing, but Cambridge will set things back up with just over 30 seconds to play in this first quarter.
Even with that shot with Poffenbarger, that is a high percentage shot for her. It just doesn't seem to be connecting with Maryland.
Cambridge, pure. 9 first quarter points for Jelani Cambridge. 5 seconds. Poffenbarger gets called for the travel. The 5th turnover for Maryland.
We're seeing so much energy from not just one player on the Ohio State team.
At the last second, Cambridge banks it in. The Cambridge 3 caps off an exciting first quarter in Columbus. 12 points for Jelani Cambridge as Ohio State leads Maryland 27-15 after the first quarter as Cambridge beats the buzzer. If you're joining us on FS1, feel free to catch the remainder of this action on FS1. Stops rim. Heading into the second quarter, it's Ohio State with the 27-15 lead over Maryland. And Nikki, the number 8 Buckeyes coming out so strong offensively. They're shooting 68% from the floor, but they're 5 of 7 from behind the arc in that opening quarter.
They're getting those open shots and they're knocking them down. And I love that they're sharing the sugar. It's not just one person. And the great thing about Ohio State is they have multiple scorers that at any point can put the team on their backs.
Maryland did cut Ohio State's lead to 5, but the Buckeyes held the Terps scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Cambridge jumper's no good. She had 12 in that opening quarter. Here's Wilson. Her shot is short. Cambridge up ahead. Lemila, she gets her first points.
And Kelsey, like you said before, she moves the ball so quickly. Maryland hasn't even gotten a chance to get back. And then she's facilitating the ball and getting it to Lemila with a quick, nice layup.
And on the other end, a foul's going to be called against Watson. And Akanawa's going to head to the free throw line.
I mean, in the first quarter, we saw Akanawa really trying to get in there and do what she does, just be feisty and gritty and get the ball and be physical. But honestly, Ohio State has had great coverage from their post players down there. And she's had 2 or 3 people when trying to get a layup.
And also of note, Ohio State is winning the battle at the boards, out rebounding Maryland 13-8. And that's something the Terrapins pride themselves on. And Coach Kevin McGuff told us this morning, that's the biggest key for them. They want to out-rebound this team. Here's Cambridge, gets it out to Kennedy Cambridge. In the corner, Gray, she stays hot.
Man, oh man, is Gray having a great day.
And of note, they had called Chance Gray's 3 in the opening quarter, a 2, it was reviewed, it was marked a 3. She is 4 for 4 from behind the arc.
And what I love is the ball movement that Ohio State's having. You know, they are engaging the defense, kick out, easy 3.
And here's the takeaway. Jelani Cambridge up ahead to Gray. It's just a little too much, and he rolls out of bounds.
I'd like to see the adjustment Maryland makes with Ohio State just pushing the ball.
Right, stop overpassing. If you have a wide open shot, to go get it shot, you go take it. We've got a finish layup, and our identity is rebounding. -6 on the glass. That's a choice. That's a choice. That's a choice.
You got to listen into the huddle, and on the other end, Gray, heat check off the front of the rim. But here's another opportunity. Jelani Cambridge out to Watson, quick release. And here comes Mack and the Terrapins. And I love that from head coach Brenda Free. She's challenging them. She said, you either want the smoke or you don't.
And I love it. She's saying, no, we need to play our game. We don't need to play into what Ohio State wants us to do. We need to play our game, do what we do. If we got an open shot, we take it.
And she noted the rebounding battle as well.
She's keeping her players accountable for that.
Trying to fire them up as they trail 33-17 in the second quarter. 12 points for Jelani Cambridge. Kennedy Cambridge driving baseline and floats it in.
Great pace Ohio State's having with their offense.
And they double team Mack here.
They're taking exactly what the defense is giving them.
Offenbarger opts for the mid-range, in and out. McLean trying to put it back in, but her teammate, Akatoa, there for the cleanup. Some second chance opportunities for the Terps.
You notice here Maryland has backed off of the full court press. Maybe that's what they're just trying to focus on, that half court.
Mack on the drive, and Watson draws the offensive foul.
What a smart play. She knew exactly what was going to happen, got right in front. That's just high IQ right there.
She did a great job getting in front of her, setting her feet. That's the first foul on the freshman Addie Mack. Ohio State gets across half court, and they get it into the hands of Chance Gray.
Imagine that. I mean, heat check.
Having an insane first half from behind the arc, 5 of 6. 17 points for the senior from Cincinnati. Offenbarger trying to get this offense fired up, and she gets the foul, +1.
I think this is exactly what Maryland needs to do. Really be physical, patient, and go to the rim, attack them. You know, the shots haven't been falling, so let's see that ball go through the rim in other ways.
And Poffenbarger completes the three-point play. It's hard to believe at the beginning of the season, Ohio State was unranked. And now they have moved up all the way to 8th in the country. 3rd in the Big Ten standings. Watson driving, but she gives it away.
You know, and earlier talking to McGuff, he really talked about how Ohio has just gotten better throughout the season. And you know, they've learned to adjust, and they are where they are now because, like he said, just that simple, we've gotten better.
And this is a younger Ohio State team. Both of these teams play younger players. There's 3 sophomores in the starting lineup for Ohio State. McLean in the paint, turning, can't connect. Kennedy Cambridge trying to get it back to Lemila. gets a steal here. Offenbarger trying to slow it down. Maryland shooting just 26% from the field. 2 of 9 from behind the arc.
Ohio State has a really nice advantage with having a good-sized guards where they can switch on and off on defense, as they have been doing here in the past couple possessions.
Offenbarger just tosses it behind her. On the move, Gray to Kennedy Cambridge. Oh, what a pass back to Gray, and she's fouled. Gray will head to the line to shoot 2.
You know, we were just talking about how this is a young team, but you can tell they have so much chemistry.
And a timeout on the floor. All Ohio State in the first half. They lead Maryland 38-22. Under 5 to play. For Ohio State, 17 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. She's hit 5 threes in this first half as she heads to the free throw line.
She's throwing it into the ocean. You know, she's just, I mean, and again, very good shots. Her teammates are getting her into great positions. She's moving well without the ball, getting to her spots. She's just doing such a great job. And I do think that Kennedy Cambridge, Jelani Cambridge are also doing a really good job at getting her the ball in the right spots and times.
She knocks them both down. She's up to 19 points. Her season high is 23. Let's see if Maryland can respond. Trailing by double digits in the first half. Ohio State almost gets the takeaway. Addie Mack down low. Bucket in the foul.
Ohio State is putting a lot of pressure. I mean, you talk about a full court press and then you come down and you're blitzing on the side there. But Addie Mack there, went up strong. It's very impressive as a freshman what she's done. She's came into her role, and little by little I feel like she's really developing, you know, into her offensive game. She's very reliable on defense. Just a great addition for Maryland.
And that is Kennedy Cambridge's 3rd foul, so Todd checks in for her. Yeah, Addie Mack is one of the 4 freshmen on this Maryland team who's averaging 11 minutes per game in Big Ten play. They have dealt with a lot of adversity this season with 4 of their guards out with knee injuries, 3 with torn ACLs. Here's Cambridge on the drive. She makes it look so easy. But Maryland quickly getting down on the other end. Back to Mack. 1 dribble. And she pokes it out of bounds. It'll be Ohio State ball.
Good idea with that gather dribble. Sometimes you just need a second. And make sure you get behind that 3-point line, too.
And there's a look. 3 starters that Maryland was expecting to have be big contributors this season, including Kayleen Smikell, preseason All-Big Ten selection. So this Terrapins team has dealt with a lot of adversity this season and still ranked 20th in the country.
Yeah, and it's tough, but it's that next player up mentality.
Johnny Cambridge draws a foul. She'll head to the free throw.
Brenna Freeze, she is such an incredible coach. She's been here. She understands that, you know, sometimes there's going to be injuries, and so I think she does such a good job at coaching her team with that, like I said, next player mentality. And you see it here with a freshman that is really coming out, like I said, in her role. I think that comes from the confidence that you get from your coach.
Maryland started this season 14-0 for the 2nd straight year. They went through a tough skid, though. They lost 4 straight games in a row. In talking with Brenda Freeze, we asked him, what did you do after that loss to Oregon? Because the next game they did bounce back and they beat number 12 Michigan State. And she said, normally after games, we showed what we need to improve on. We showed them what we're excelling at. But she said we decided not to show it. Instead, they brought out every single one of their players and just poured into them as they get called for the travel here. But they brought every single kid up. They shared what they loved about them. They reiterated their identity. And right after that, they came and they got a top 15 win over Michigan State.
That's that fine line, and I'm sure as a coach that's hard to decide. Do we need to go in and look at what we need to improve on, or do I need to just take some time and let our players know that we believe in them, we're confident in them?
I'm sure after 24 seasons, you know when to make that decision or not. And Ohio State turns it over here.
Ohio State still with this full court pressure. We talked to Mick Gruff earlier as well, and he said, yeah, he's definitely gonna give that pressure because that's who Ohio State is, and see how Maryland responds to it. And right now it looks like it's going really well for Ohio State, putting that pressure, slowing Maryland down, not letting them get those transition offensive threes that they love to get.
Late shot clock. McLean doesn't get it off in time. A shot clock violation, and that's the 12th Maryland turnover of the game.
Another great defensive possession for Ohio State. Maryland trying to find that groove. I think they're getting a little bit better and more comfortable in that half-court offense.
And this Ohio State offense has just been fueled by the combo of Chance Gray and Jelani Cambridge. Gray floats it up, can't hit it there, but the two of them combined for 34 of Ohio State's 43 points in this first half. On the other end, Kanawa goes off glass for two. And a foul on McLean. That's her first.
I'm really liking how Maryland is trying to switch it up on Ohio State. Sometimes they're pressuring, sometimes they're not. Just not letting them know what's coming.
Kanawa will take a seat. Poffenbarger comes back in. Quickly hitting down court, Cambridge. No. Hits the offensive rebound. Todd driving. And again, can't finish. Poffenbarger fires off the back rim. Another chance for Maryland. And a whistle, it's staying here.
Those are those open threes that Coach Freeze was talking about in that timeout. If you've got it, take it.
Foul's gonna go against Todd. It's her first. Coming up on the Ram Trucks halftime report, Georgia takes down number 5 Vanderbilt. Ole Miss facing Kentucky, and North Carolina battling it out with Duke. That'll be a good one. Maryland off the missed free throw. It's possession back with just over a minute to play in this first half. Here's Gear Zone. Fading away, leaves it short. Here comes Cambridge with a minute to play. Todd back out to Watson, her three. That is the 9th Buckeye three of this first half.
And they are on a roll. And for this Maryland team, I feel like if we could, if they could maybe get some more looks into Garzone and get her going, maybe that could spark a little something for this Maryland offense.
Garzone had 5 threes in their last game. She only has 1 so far. Here's Mack on a late shot clock, in and out. Everyone's on the ground, and they call a jump ball with 16 seconds left.
We talked about Maryland rebound and how they're just not being as strong on the rebounding side as they normally are. And you can see it here. There's not a lot of pink jerseys down low.
Maryland will have the last possession, 15 seconds remaining. Open three, Walker, yes! A much needed bucket for the Terps. But Cambridge will let it fly and leaves it short. The Buckeyes shooting over 55% from the field. It was the duo of Gray and Cambridge going to work offensively for the Buckeyes as they have the 15-point lead over Maryland after the first 2 quarters. Our halftime score, 46-31 Ohio State. We'll take you to our Fox studios. Allison Williams and Kim Adams are standing with the Rams Trucks halftime report.
Here, but she's a veteran. She is not daunted by the big shots. And she's getting her feet set. They're not forced, even in transition. She has just been outstanding today.
She is featured in our stat comparison powered by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Chance Gray with 19 points. She has knocked down 5 from behind the arc. And on the other end, the leading scorer from Maryland, Alucia Kanawa. She has been the bright spot offensively. She has 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. But for the Terrapins, they're only shooting 28% from the field. What do they need to do to get it back in their flow offensively to start the second half?
I think they've got great size on them. Maybe start attacking, getting to the free throw line, watching the ball go through the net, and then just going off of that.
Ohio State will start the third quarter. They're shooting 55% from the field. They're shooting even better from behind the arc, 64%. As they roll a jump ball, it'll be Maryland possession. Jelani Cambridge still on the ground. That seems to be helped up by her teammates.
I don't know if she slipped there. Not really sure. It happened really quickly.
She is up and ready to defend. Addie Mack at the point. Here's Gearzone looking to kickstart this offense, and she hits the 3 to open the second half scoring for Maryland.
What a smooth shot she has. It always seems like when it goes in, it doesn't touch anything but net.
6 points for Gearzone. That's her second 3 of the afternoon. She's coming off a 19-point performance featuring 5 triples. Cambridge on the drive, and she'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2.
One of my favorite things about Jelani is that she's not the biggest guard out there by any means, but she does such a good job attacking the rim, extending, and even just being patient in making moves. On this one, for example, she went under Poffenbarger's arm. She just does such a good job.
And she does a great job of getting to the free throw line as she hits the first. She has shot over 120 free throws this season, and she already has an impressive resume as a sophomore. She has over 1,000 points scored. She's averaging 22 on the season as she goes 1 for 2 at the line, a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. She has just been shining in her first 2 seasons at Ohio State. Maryland breaks the press. Gearzone kick out. Gets it right back. Gearzone off the front of the rim, but it's an offensive rebound for Maryland. They did a better job on the glass in that second quarter. Poffenbarger lines one up. Akanawa, another chance. Again. Ooh, and Maryland just can't catch a break. And this time, Ohio State finally getting possession. Cambridge, oh, what a move!
Wow. Man, she was
with style.
In the air for about 10 seconds, it felt like. In that last possession, Maryland started to look a little bit more like themselves, getting those rebounds, getting the shots up. So maybe we're going to see a little bit of an adjustment that Brenda Fries has made at halftime.
And they're dominating the offensive boards. Plus 10 on the O boards. And here they are on a takeaway. Akanawa. Blocked twice.
Wow.
It was Watson who got a hand on it first, then Lemila on the second attempt.
Yeah. Wow, and she kept it in her hand, and then, yep, Lemila, great defense coming back.
Lemila leads the Big Ten Conference in blocks. She averages 2.5 per game. That one off the foot of Mack. It'll be Ohio State ball. But let's take a look at that finish from Jelani Cambridge.
So smooth. And that's what I'm talking about, that extension. She's getting to the other side of the court with getting defended by Poffenbarger, who's quite a bit lankier than her, and still getting that shot off clean.
It's so hard to believe she's just a sophomore. And here she is again. This time gives it to her teammate Watson, too strong. Here's Mack. And she'll set it back up. 20 wins on the season for Maryland. McLean inside. Kick out. And Mack hits from deep.
She did the praying hands. She's saying, yep, here we go, here we go. This is what we needed.
It's a 10-point game. And Ohio State's gonna take a timeout. Starting to see some life from this Maryland offense as they cut the deficit to 10 to start the third quarter. 20 years, it's the anniversary of the 2006 Maryland National Champions. We're getting a look at Christy Tolliver making the shot that sent the national championship game into overtime, where the Terrapins went on to win to beat Duke 78-75. And talking with head coach Brenda Fries earlier this week, she said, we had no business being there. They were a young and fearless team, but they were a confident team. And to go out and get a win against Duke in that fashion, I mean, she said she couldn't have scripted it up any better.
They should make a movie out of that.
Yeah. But right now, Lemila down low. Couldn't get the finish. And the Terrapins having a little bit momentum with just over 6 to play. Cambridge almost with the takeaway, and it looks like she bumped her ankle.
Oh, no.
And she is sitting on the table in pain.
I think we might have, one of the Maryland players almost like fell on top of her ankle there. Let's take a look. Ooh,
Right there.
yep, that's,
And she is being carried off the court by the training staff here. A tough scene in Columbus as she receives the ovation from the Buckeye fans. That is a tough blow to this Ohio State team, especially on the defensive end. She leads the team, leads the conference in steals, and she is taken back to the locker room. And it looks like Ohio State is appealing this to see who touched the ball last. They'll take a look and we'll step aside here. Ohio State leading by 10 with 6:37 left to play in the third. Quarter, but a tough scene in Columbus after this play. Kennedy Cambridge going down with an apparent left ankle injury after a player completely fell onto it, going for an out-of-bounds ball.
After review, there is not clear and conclusive evidence to overturn the call. The call stands. Ohio State will be charged a 30-second timeout.
And that was the ruling on the appeal as Kennedy Cambridge was being carried to the locker room. And that is just a really tough look for this Ohio State team, especially with March coming up and the impact Cambridge has on this starting lineup.
Exactly. She impacts the team on both ends of the floor. And she brings the energy. Like I said, when we started this game, I mean, she is the head of the snake. She really brings them a lot of who they are. So really hoping the best for her.
So the appeal was denied, and it's Maryland ball. Yeah, Kennedy Cambridge second in the country in total steals, only behind Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame. So she certainly brings big energy on the defense for this Ohio State team. Garzone, though, lining up a triple and knocking it down for the Terps. It is a 7-point lead for Ohio State. And Maryland gets a takeaway here. Akanawa on the drive, and she's fouled. She'll shoot 2.
I love the push in transition. We get a steal, push, you know, right after a 3. Again, Maryland starting to look a little bit more like herself, or like themselves, sorry.
That's the second foul on Jelani Cambridge, as Akanawa will shoot 2. Akanawa, the transfer from Duke. In 2024, the ACC 6th Player of the Year. She's the ACC Tournament Most Outstanding Player last season. She was 1 of 2 from the line. And Maryland's on a 9-0 run with just over 6 minutes to play in the 3rd. For Ohio State, their offensive numbers have been so strong, but they're really only getting it from 2 of the players, Jelani Cambridge and Gray. The rest of the team has only accounted for 12 points. Martin down low, rejected. And Maryland comes up with a stop. Oh. Garzone, deep, but way short. And for a little heat check there.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of hesitation there. If she would have shot it before the hesitation, you know, it's Garzone, so probably would have gone in.
She leads the Big Ten in 3-pointers made. 77 and counting on the season. That's good enough for 12th in the country. There was a game earlier this year. She hit 7 of them. Good move down low. The cut from Gray. And Cambridge almost getting the steal.
This is a great example of moving without the ball and catching your defender, you know, with their feet in the mud.
Addie Mack coming off a 13-point performance in their win against Penn State. They had 5 different players scoring in double figures. That was the 7th time this season this team has done that. Akanawa gets it inside. Fans wanting to travel. Instead, Poffenbarger lines up a 3, but can't connect. Here comes Cambridge. Stops at the free throw line, but leaves it short. Back and forth off empty possessions, and it's an offensive foul. Cambridge goes down. There was contact to the face. Both Cambridge sisters taking a beating this afternoon, and the officiating crew is going to take a look at this.
There's that elbow there. She did such a great job of getting to her position while still staying in front of Okanawa.
4 is a common foul. That ruling is under review for a possible upgrade.
Looked like the elbow knocked off prescription glasses for Jelani Cambridge. Again, her sister is back in the locker room after what appeared to be an ankle injury, and actually she is now back on the bench That is a good sign, and we just saw a thumbs up down at the bench from Kennedy Cambridge. As we take a look at what we just saw from her sister, Jelani, taking the elbow from Akanawa, possibly getting upgraded to a flagrant 1.
Seems like Okanawa was trying to do a little Euro step to try to get to the other side.
And this is what they're looking at. The difference between flagrant 1 and flagrant 2, unnecessary and excessive. I don't think that was in any way, shape, or form excessive. She was just making a basketball move. So if they were to upgrade this, it would only be to a flagrant 1. A flagrant 2 results in ejection. It looks like Jelani Cambridge is okay. Kennedy Cambridge on the bench talking to some training staff members for Ohio State, and here comes the decision.
After review, the contact does not rise to the level of a flagrant 1 foul. It will be Ohio State's ball.
So they are not upgrading this. It is just a common foul. And that is the 3rd foul on Aluchi Akanawa. Does that surprise you? But regardless, it remains a common foul. And Ohio State has possession. And their lead is just down to 8. And it's another Maryland takeaway. Akanawa patient with it and puts it in off glass. And Jelani Cambridge coast to coast. The action starting to pick up here in the 3rd quarter. It was all Ohio State in that first half. But Maryland trying to get themselves back in it. Here's Poffenbarger for 3 off the front of the rim, but the offensive rebound, that's the 15th for Maryland in this game.
Mismatch right there with Poffenbarger, and not anymore.
She's defended by Martin, but it doesn't matter. Tough finish for Poffenbarger. Cambridge gets it out to Martin. Ohio State already has 5 turnovers in this 5th quarter. Make it. Actually, it's kickball. It'll stay at 5 for the time being.
I'm really loving the pressure that Maryland is putting on Ohio State. I don't feel like they started off in the 1st quarter specifically with this pressure, and it's making Ohio State, you know, figure out what they need to do.
And you see the applause because Kennedy Cambridge is back into this game. Wow, sigh of relief for Ohio State because that did not look pretty for a brief moment as she got carried into the locker room. Watson, quick trigger. Here comes Poffenbarger and the Terps. McLean going into her defender, no call. Mack will set things back up as the shot clock reset back to 20. Mid-range, and it's good off the hand of Addie Mack.
Great decision. She saw that she was going to have a mismatch with Pitts, pulled it up. Great decision making there.
Addie Mack now up to 8 points. And it's a 4-point game. 2-possession lead for Ohio State as they led by as many as 19. And McLean is going to get called for the foul.
I mean, she was doing a good job of staying in front of Jelani, but she did put a little bit too much of her body into her, and you know, that's going to be a foul every time.
Kylie Kitts in the game in the 2nd half for the first time. Almost a bad pass. Kennedy Cambridge. Deep 3 off the rim from Gray. She's hit 5 of them today. Poffenbarger out to Garzone. Inside pass, and Akanawa's foul. getting to the free throw line, possibly making this a one-possession game.
Maryland's offense is definitely moving way better. I think before they were pretty stagnant, and that's why they weren't getting as many open looks, because everyone was just kind of waiting around to see who or what was going to happen with the person that had the ball. Now they're really moving, they're getting the ball flowing, and everyone's not just standing still.
Kanoa hits the first. This Maryland defense has held Ohio State to just 7 points in this third quarter. The Buckeyes scored 28 in the first.
They've definitely raised their intensity. You can tell on defense, and then it's translating into offense as well.
And it's a 2-point game. The last time Maryland led was at the beginning of the game, the opening basket, when they led 2-0. Here's Jelani Cambridge. Fading away, and she'll shoot free throws.
We know both of these teams are going to fight to the end. And I feel like Jelani is starting to get back into a little bit more of a rhythm and scoring, like she does, getting to the free throw line. I think it's going to be good momentum for Ohio State as Maryland is going on this run.
And Maryland has done a great job getting to the line. They've shot 14 free throws in this game compared to Ohio State, who's about to shoot their 8th.
And Ohio State really just needs to stay with their defensive principles. They've been doing a really good job keeping Maryland in front of them. And if they continue that, you know, maybe you do add a little bit more pressure, but those principles that they've had throughout this game need to stay intact.
The Terps trailing by 4. In the corner, Max 3 is good. Back to a 1-point game.
I love to watch how excited she is about that. You know, that just shows how much she wants the team to win and do well.
Here's Gray. She had 19 in the first half. Cambridge on the move, right to the cup.
And her first step is just so quick.
Kanoa. And she gets whistled for the travel.
I love the aggression there, just didn't connect.
Ohio State won the first meeting between these two this season, 89-76. They have the lead here. Kennedy Cambridge way too strong. Kits wide open underneath.
What a play. Kicking it out, rebound, and then a quick pass for a quick, easy basket.
Addie Mack has 8 points in this quarter. The freshman gets it to Garzone. Her 3 is good. It's a 2-point game with 30 seconds to play.
Maryland's really firing it up.
Jelani Cambridge will slow this down. Just about a second separating game clock and shot clock. The handoff back to Cambridge. And she's fouled with 6 seconds remaining.
And that was a good matchup there. She just right as Walker jumped, she came down on Jelani. And it's really hard, I'm sure, to guard Jelani when she's got so many different options in her back pocket when it comes to getting to the rim and finishing.
This is the free throw. She is second in the Big Ten in scoring and field goals attempted. We also mentioned she gets to the free throw line. She sits first in the Big Ten, and free throw makes per game, third in free throw attempts. That one rattles in. 6 seconds to work with in this third quarter. Poffenbarger is gonna have to hoist it from half court. Off the back of the rim. She made one of those in shoot-around today.
Yeah.
Gonna practice on that shot, but couldn't get it to go to start the third quarter. But we have a game in Columbus. Maryland putting on a show in this third quarter, scoring 26 points as they trail by 3 heading into the final frame. It is a 3-point game in Columbus to start the fourth quarter. Number 8, Ohio State, leading number 20, Maryland, 60-57. And it was an incredible third quarter from Maryland, outscoring Ohio State 26-14 in that third frame. Some three-point shooting from Yarden-Gare's zone, but how about the play from the freshman, Addie Mack? She's up to 11 points.
They've been doing such a good job. Like we said, it's translating from their defense as well, but their offense, they're moving the ball. They're moving without the ball and getting the shots that they know they can knock down and not forcing anything. They're trying to get the best shot.
Maryland shot 28% in that first half. They shot 50% in the third quarter.
I think they're also, Maryland's doing a really good job of being aggressive again on the boards and on their just man-on-man defense.
Maryland looking to avenge their loss earlier this season to the Buckeyes. But Jelani Cambridge doing it all for Ohio State. She's up to 25 points. And she was responsible for 12 of the team's 14 points in that third quarter, either scoring or assisting, as Lemila can't finish underneath. Maryland looking to extend their win streak to 4. Driving, Akanawa, and she's fouled.
She's just so aggressive when she attacks the rim. And she gets her body into her defender, and that's how she draws the fouls.
She will shoot her 8th free throw of this game.
What I love about Okanawa is that she came in, you know, and defense being one of the main things she was meant to focus on. But I think when you come into a system like Maryland that allows you to be the player that you can be, and like we said, she translates a lot of her offense from her defense, but still she's able to attack the rim and really show off her offensive side as well.
She's had to take on a big load with all the injuries the Terps have faced this year. On the fast break, no foul called. Terrapins regain control. Garzone from deep, she leaves it short. Lemila with the rebound. And a whistle, gonna go against Maryland. Mir McLean, that's her 3rd. Terrapins with 3 fouls, Sakanawa, McLean, and Walker. Lemila nearly had it stripped. Poffenbarger gets called for the foul. Excuse me, Akanawa, that's her 4th.
Yeah, that's a good dig. Lemila had her back turned to her, but you know, maybe just a little bit too aggressive. You have to be aware, especially if you have 3 fouls when you're going in for that dig, to not foul.
Wide open, Lemila couldn't finish. And now Okonowa is gonna have to take a seat on the bench with 8.5 to play in this fourth quarter. It's a 1-point game in Columbus. Mack calling for it from 3, and she hits! Maryland with their first lead of the game since the opening bucket.
Man, Addie Mack, the freshman, stepping up exactly when Maryland needs it.
5-0 run to start the fourth quarter from Maryland. Looking to upset number 8 Ohio State on the road. Cambridge, no. Poffenbarger with the rebound. Mack up ahead. And a blocking call fouled on the Buckeyes.
This may seem really fast-paced, but this is exactly how Maryland likes to play. And here we see Addie Mack's 3. I mean, you could tell that Okonowa, who passed it to her, saw that she was wide open because she drew the defense into her.
Addie Mack with 3 threes. She's only a 22% three-point shooter. Lemila almost had it. Terps with numbers. Poffenbarger, yes!
Seems like every time Maryland makes a 3, it's almost like a sigh of relief for them. They're saying, okay, here we go. This is us.
And Ohio State is gonna have to call a timeout. Talk about the fight from Maryland. They're on an 8-0 run to start this fourth quarter. Mack and Poffengartner hit the threes, and the Terps are out in front by 5. From NCAA projections, because certainly these two teams have a strong resume for the postseason. The top 16 were revealed yesterday. It had Ohio State 9th overall as a 3 seed, and Maryland 13th overall as a 4 seed. So these are two tough, competitive teams who certainly have built their resumes throughout this season to make a strong postseason run.
And off of that, I'm in the Big Ten. You know that you're going to compete every single game.
Mack's 3 was deflected. It'll be Maryland ball. Maryland trailing by as many as 19 points in this game. And even in that third quarter, they trailed by 15 at the 8:33 mark. Since then, they have outscored Ohio State 31-11.
Feels like they flip-flopped from last game when Ohio State was down, and then they came back, and now Maryland was down, then they came back.
It's the exact same story, just flipped. Here's Cambridge off the rebound. Gray on the drive, can't put it in. Cambridge comes crashing down. And if you missed it earlier, she was taken back in the locker room after getting her ankle fallen up. And she came back, returned to this game. Ohio State's gonna need her if they want to get some stops to slow down Maryland in the second half.
I don't think you want to sit out at any game, but this is not one that I think Kennedy would want to sit out of.
Addie Mack down the baseline, up the rim. Lemila had the rebound, but it was stripped. Oh, what a finish underneath. McLean in for 2.
Wow, thanks to Garzone for being there and tapping that out right into McLean. Great, great play.
17 second chance points for Maryland compared to just 2 for the Buckeyes. That has made a huge impact in this game. Cambridge jumper too strong. And Maryland looks to slow it down here with under 6 to play. Ohio State still has not scored in this fourth quarter. Cambridge trying to get a steal. Garzone with the finish near the rim.
Great physical attack. Didn't stop till she got exactly where she needed to be to lay that in.
Yeah, physical, great way to describe that drive. The 6'3" guard out of Israel, transferring in from Indiana. Gray, nice move to get underneath.
Right back at him, another physical drive.
They trail by 7. Four Terrapins in double digits. Mack wants the ball, but Cambridge comes away with it. Jelani.
Woo. That was saucy. Man, that was pretty.
Always got to add something to it. And Kennedy Cambridge fouls McLean as we get another look at it.
One side to the other, right under the basket. Oh my gosh. I mean, you couldn't draw that prettier. Goodness. So smooth.
Her sister, Kennedy Cambridge, that was 4 fouls.
We talked about it early on. We knew this was going to be a physical game, and both teams were going to have to kind of have it in the back of their minds about not fouling, because again, you can come down to this close and you want to have those players, you know, able to be aggressive.
And if you remember, we listened into the Maryland huddle earlier. Brenda Freeze challenged her squad. She said, do you want this smoke? And they have really stepped up to the occasion in this second half.
Seems like Ohio State's slowing it down, getting more into their half-court offense.
Jelani Cambridge can't convert on the drive. Here's Garzone. She calls for the double dribble. Maybe thought about it a little too much. She realized she had some space and numbers.
Yeah,
but turns it over.
I think she almost tried to pick it up. Let's see here. Yeah, I think she was going to pass and, you know, then decided not to.
And here's another opportunity for Ohio State to get back in. Cambridge denied, swatted away by Muir McLean. Brenda Freeze has told us she was an X factor coming off the bench for this Maryland team.
She's so reliable down there, and she creates such a presence with her defense.
Here's Kitts. 5 to work with for Gray. Kick out to the corner, extra pass, Cambridge 3, it's in! One possession game!
What an execution to that play. I think everyone touched the ball.
And this place is loud. We'll step aside just for a moment. Ohio State right back in it. What a matchup we have in Columbus right now. A top 20 showdown. The number 20 Maryland leading the number 8 Buckeyes 70-67 with 3:19 left in the fourth quarter. After Maryland regained the lead, Ohio State has stormed back, and they trail by 3.
With both of these teams, we should expect that back and forth battle, and this is exactly what we've seen today.
2 key players playing with 4 fouls for both sides. Kanawa for Ohio State and Kennedy Cambridge for Ohio State, or excuse me, for Maryland and Ohio State. And in the corner, that's the 5th 3 for Garzone.
Like we said earlier, she can heat up so quickly.
And the whistle's gonna go against Addie Mack. That's her second.
You know, it sometimes feels like Garzone has maybe a higher percentage when she's shooting guarded rather than, you know, being more open.
Gray off the inbound. It was blocked, but whistled for the foul. It's going to go against Garzone. That's her third. And Chance Gray's had a quiet second half after erupting for 19 points in the first 2 quarters. She has 23. That matches her season high. But she hit 5 threes in that opening half.
We've talked about it. She's a senior. She's been here. She's done it. She's not afraid of those big moments. And then she's also willing to be nitty-gritty and do what she has to do for her team to succeed.
And she makes some key free throws, too, to keep it a 2-possession game. This is a physical matchup between these 2 Big Ten teams. The second time they're facing off this season. And it's Watson who's going to get called for the blocking foul.
I mean, you try to stay in front of someone like Okonawa, and I mean, if she just keeps going, you really have to stand your ground. But then most of the time, like in this case, it is going to be called a foul.
14 fouls for each side in this 4th quarter. Jump ball, it'll stay Maryland basketball.
And you can really feel how much both of these teams just really want this. And you love to see that in a game. You know, you want to see both teams' competitiveness come out and, you know, give us a great game.
These 2 teams are wanting to play their best basketball right now. Over the last 5 years, Maryland has done really well in the month of February. 25-5, getting them prepped and ready for postseason. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Poffenbarger is going to have to throw this one up, and it's in!
What a shot.
Sailor Poffenbarger from deep, and they're going to take a look at this one.
I think she had a little dribble shot. Maybe not. She got it.
The ruling on the floor is a
Oh, yeah.
successful 3-point basket by Maryland. We will review whether the shot clock expired prior to that basket.
This is going to be a quick review because that clearly got off the hand of Poffenbarger in time. What a shot for the redshirt senior.
As she's fading away, too, by the way.
After review, the shot was released with 7 tenths on the shot clock. Confirmed 3-point basket.
Almost from the logo.
You love to see her team come up to her afterwards, you know, congratulate and give her a hug. And you know, I love to see that part of basketball as well.
And Brenda Fries told us that this is a close locker room, this Maryland squad. They feel for each other, they celebrate each other, they hurt for each other. And here's Cambridge trying to get Ohio State back into it. She's up to 29. Two minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Okonawa gets it out to Garzone. In and out. And it'll stay with the Terps.
What a great decision by Okonawa there. She drew 3 people into her. And then, of course, got Garzone on the 3-point line. You're going to get her that ball.
And Maryland has just done such an impressive job at the boards today, especially following that first quarter. 43 rebounds as Garzone gets another shot and another offensive rebound. Make that rebound number 44 compared to Ohio State, just 28. Davidson is on Mac. Garzone missing 3 threes on this possession, and it still is going to stay with the Terrapins. Almost a minute has gone off the clock on this sole possession for the Terrapins.
With those rebounds that we know Maryland does and gets.
So many second chance opportunities. Garzone again has gone cold from behind the three-point line, and some feistiness underneath. Jelani Cambridge wants a technical as Gray and Akanawa were getting into it.
You want to make sure that you stay level-headed, especially in these moments.
Fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, it looks like Gray's arm got a little stuck, and we were trying to rip the ball. It's just a very high pressure and emotional game for both sides.
This is the second time these two teams have battled it out.
Four is a technical foul and a flagrant foul. We will review that play.
All right, so it was ruled a technical and a flagrant. They're having another look at this. Ohio State got the best of Maryland earlier this season, 89-76 in College Park. Now the Terps trying to go on the road and upset the Buckeyes. Let's get another look. Yeah, going for the rebound. Appeared to be a jump ball as Akanawa ripped it away, and then I think it's this last second shove from Gray.
Yeah, the two-hand shove to the back. You can tell she's not going for the ball in that situation.
Minute and a second left on the clock in this fourth quarter.
After review, we have a flagrant foul penalty on 2 for Ohio State for pushing and a technical foul for unsporting language on number 7, Maryland. Those are fouls of equal gravity. That is 7's 5th foul. We will resume play at the point of interruption, which is the jump ball, Ohio State ball.
All right, we just got an explanation. It's offsetting fouls. It was a flagrant on Gray, technical on Akanawa, and that is Aluchi Akanawa's 5th foul, so she's out of the game.
Wow, what a turn of events.
So it'll be Buckeye basketball. They trail by 5 with just over a minute to play.
Akanawa was doing a really good job coming in and getting those rebounds, getting the ball back out. So we're gonna have to see how Maryland's gonna, adjust to not having Akanawa in there.
Here's Jelani Cambridge. She wants the ball in her hands, but instead, she's gonna give it up to Watson at the top of the key.
What a shot.
It's a 2-point game. Fans on their feet inside Value City Arena. Addie Mack working around this defense. The freshman, no, and Kennedy Cambridge gets the rebound and a foul.
Still quite a bit of time left. Good idea, good take. Just needed a little bit more on that. And you can tell everyone's really going in after that rebound. We know both teams really want it.
Cambridge misses the first free throw. Misses both, but she's fighting for her own rebound, but it will be Maryland basketball. And timeout called on the court. It is a 2-point possession here in Columbus as we send it back to Allison in the studio for an update.
Yeah, quick update. Want to let you know that we are underway in Ann Arbor between Michigan State and Michigan. That game currently airing over on FS2, and we'll get you to the action there once we're done with their friends down in Columbus, shaping up for a great finish there. Kelsey?
Thanks so much, Allison. Two incredible Big Ten matchups. Michigan and Michigan State facing for the second time this season, just like these two top 20 teams. Maryland, after trailing by as many as 19, lead by 2 with 28 seconds left, and they have had just a huge second half. A lot of it thanks to Yarden Gearzone. She's up to 17 points, and she's hit 5 threes.
I mean, she's just such a reliable player. You know that she's going to get that shot off quick if she needs to. And she doesn't need much space either. And she's just willing to do it on all sides of the court, not even on three-pointers. She'll put it on the ground, and she has just been a very, very solid piece for Maryland in this game.
The best three-point shooter in the Big Ten Conference has come up big in this second half, but also the battle of the boards. Maryland plus 16 on the glass today, featuring 22 offensive rebounds that have led to 17 second chance points.
We knew coming into this game that rebounding was going to be such a big emphasis. Both coaches even said it to us before the game. You know, this is what it's going to come down to, the battle of the boards, and of course, you know, taking care of the ball.
And Maryland cleaned up their turnovers. And it's a turnover here. Maryland couldn't get the ball in, and it's Ohio State possession.
Oh my goodness, another turn of events.
I was thinking Freeze was calling a timeout. Rather, it is a turnover. Maryland getting back on defense. Ohio State with an opportunity to tie or take the lead here with less than 30 seconds to play in Columbus. Kitts, wide open, top of the three off the back of the rim, but Jelani Cambridge gets an offensive rebound. Doesn't get a good look. Kitts, she's fouled.
Wow, wow. That was intense. We got 2 rebounds in one possession there, and a foul. This is going to be very big for Kitts. Pressure free throws here.
She hits the first. Kylie Kitts, a 77% free throw shooter, but has missed 6 games due to that shoulder injury. You see the sling on her shoulder. Her first game back was against Oregon. She misses the second, but gets her own offensive rebound. Kennedy Cambridge spinning, no! And it's heading Maryland way. Kitts couldn't hit the second free throw. And Maryland gets the rebound and calls a timeout with 6 seconds remaining.
And they almost had that second chance with that rebound from Kennedy.
Kitts had it.
Sorry, Kitts, yeah.
Cambridge. And then Gearzone brings in a huge rebound. 6 seconds remaining. Kevin McGuff, his 13th season, talking to his squad. If you have 6 seconds, you fouling right away in this situation? You're trying to get a steal? Do you have enough time?
I mean, I definitely think you go for the steal, but you have to foul. I mean, you have to try to get as little time possible off that shot clock.
So Maryland uses their last timeout. They advance the ball, and they're looking to hang on.
You know, Ohio State has such good pressure.
They couldn't get it in last time. They do this time, and they will foul right away. Foul's going to go against Jelani Cambridge. That will send the redshirt freshman Kendall Walker to the free throw line. That's the third on Cambridge. Buckeyes bring in some height with Lemila. Walker, an 80% free throw shooter, misses the first. There is still an opportunity for Ohio State. Misses the second. Cambridge gets the rebound, and Kevin McGuff calls a timeout.
Free throws have been a very big focal point in these last couple of minutes.
Both teams have missed significant free throws.
Both teams, exactly.
Maryland shooting 70% from the free throw line. Ohio State only 63. And the Buckeyes have a big opportunity here. They use their last timeout. Neither team with timeouts remaining, 4.8 seconds on the clock. This matchup has lived up to the hype, Nikki.
It really has. We said back and forth battle, and that's exactly what it's been. Started off not as much of a battle, but you know, Maryland coming back, you know, all the threes, starting off with Gray on Ohio State, just really setting the tone, and then Maryland really coming back and saying, hey, we're still in this. It's been a great game to watch, and we knew it was going to be with how competitive both of these teams are.
So it's Buckeye possession with under 5 to play. In this situation, are you just trying to get the ball to Jelani Cambridge?
I mean, it's hard because Maryland knows that's probably where it's going to go. She's going to be heavily guarded. But you have an Ohio State team that has players that can step up. But yes, you definitely want to go to Jelani Cambridge, who has been in these situations. You know, she's confident with the ball. You know, and see what she can get. We know she can attack the rim really well. Maybe she gets to that free throw line like she knows, like we know that she does all the time. But everyone needs to be ready to step up in these scenarios.
And it's only a 1-point lead. Any basket would win it for Ohio State. You certainly don't want to send them to the free throw line. They get it into Kitts. It's blocked by Garzone. Pushed out of bounds. Stayed Buckeyes basketball. 3.1 left on the clock.
It's not really much time. But you got to get it in and get it up.
They get it into Cambridge. Jelani for the win. And it's Maryland who hangs on and upsets the Buckeyes in Columbus, 76-75.
I mean, she got to her spot and really almost got that shot. But Maryland did what they needed to do and come back.
They trailed by 19, but they come back to win it by 1 and upset the Buckeyes, 76-75. That will do it for us in the ShotSign Center. For Nikki Cardona, Hillary, and our entire Fox crew, I'm Kelsey Casper.